history books to forget the value of what these gentlemen did for dance for the mainstream. I don't want them. I don't want them to ever forget them. I don't want them to not be forgotten. You know. The other challenges is people have got to practice. You know, you can't. It's impossible. There's a big difference between being talented and being creative. You have to. Most of these kids that go to these classes are very talented, but you have to take the talent out and find a way to bring back the creativity
Thank
that
you.
that
Everybody,
was
for me, one
built.
of my biggest things has been, it seems like so many people now are so into this dressing up and being very dramatic. Now here's the thing that I have about it, because not only have do I do street dance and all these other dances, but I've actually went to school, several schools, and have worked professionally within the acting field. And a lot of these people that I see that are doing the dance and then trying to put these emotions in, for me, a lot of it seems it doesn't seem natural. And not only that, I feel a lot of the dancing, the actual dancing of the dance, is going way somewhere south. There's a few people who, when I look at, I get something. It gives me something, but it's very few. There's one girl in St. Petersburg, a couple of them actually. Um, but
A couple of them. There's a couple of them all over. It's
Brazil,
yeah, it's rather difficult because from what I sense now, when you go to a class, when you go to the class, you generally go, you stretch, they give you a couple of combinations, which is nice. Then they give you a routine. Then after the routine that they give you, then they put you in a lineup, and then they get you 5 or 6 strong, and then you do the routine, and then da 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 da. Then that's the end of, and then that's the end of your class.
bow. But
And that stuff doesn't teach you individuality.
exactly, but
This
it's for me.
and
It's not an excuse. They don't
this
have.
is this is what this is all about. It's all about individuality. It's all about how you self interpret the music. You know, I've
Mm,
always in all my classes, you shouldn't dance like her. She shouldn't dance like her. He shouldn't dance like him. He shouldn't dance like you. You should be able to pull. I'm a teacher. So what I do as a teacher is direct and guide. That's all that I can do. And the only way I can do that is if you show me something that's inside of you that I can pull out. You know, most people say, well, Tyrone, you're lucky to do, to teach Oz and to teach Deshaun and Lockaroo and all. I said, the reason why they're the way they are is because they came with me with something. They just didn't, they already had presence. They already had stature. They already had they already had talent. You know, what I did was I nurtured the creativity that's in them, and I helped bring that out so that they can interpret what you hear, so that you can see what they do. Um,
man, yep.
that,
That's what I'm missing. The
but
the
that
the
but,
the
but understand,
attitudes of
yeah,
a lot of the performers. For the people who are just learning, it's okay. But I'm talking about the performers and the people who are now looked looked at as some of the top performers. And
the music will always dictate to you
mm,
what you do. If you watch, even and it's the style that you use. Ibuki and I
bam,
hope I pronounced her name wrong. I
Yumeki.
mean, Ibuki. Yeah, I'm sorry. Forgive me for mispronouncing your name, darling. But her style is wonderful because what she gives is that she gives you power. She gives you control. She also gives you isolation, syncopation. She gives you all of that, so that when she moves,
Character.
she's very quick. And what I like about that is that when you put all of that together, you see it. And the other thing that all of these dancers have in common is that they control. They will always control the music. They will never let the music control them. They will always go with the music, never against it. If the music is going blah 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 blah, you can rest assured some part of their body is moving that way. If not all together, isolated or something else. This is these are the disciplines that one has to achieve, and they do that by drilling. I mean, it's the same thing that you do when you learn the alphabet. You have to say A, B, C over and over and over again. If you're taking ballet, the first thing you do is you warm up, then you go to the bar and you do these same five things over and over and over again. You keep doing it over and over and over again so that you can get a sense of self worth. It's not because it's your time is wasted. People now, they want to come in and expect somebody to walk out, do a 2 hour class, and by the time they walk out the
They want to
class,
be professionals.
they want, and it doesn't work like that. It took Lockeroo years to get the way she got. It took you years to understand it. You just didn't. You just don't gain this stuff quickly. Oz is he's a rarity because Oz would never take my class. What Oz would do, Oz would sit down and watch me, watch everything I do. He would sit there and watch, and then get up there and I'm like, ooh, and Lockeroo, on the other hand, Lockeroo she puts so much of herself into it. It's insane. Uh, I can talk about One G, Miss One G, fabulous person. Deshine, another one. I could go on and on and on. But these people have, when you watch them move, they're
It's
individuals.
all
They don't
different
dance
styles.
all different styles. It's not the same thing. They're just not flinging arms. They're just not giving you the emotions. There is emotions, but the emotion is going with the music. If the music calls for it, then that's when you do it. If it doesn't, then that's when you don't. You have to, I tell people all the time, you have to make people see what they hear. Okay, if that's enough about that. But the next question.
Let me see. Oh, I know what one of the biggest challenges for me would have been is trying to get it to cross over into the straight community also. But that was the same thing with the Vogue. People they want to get it inside of the club because they want to feel that beat too. They want to let it sha-la-la-la-long. But
And never get it twisted. Know where the stuff comes from. All of this stuff was created from the gay community. Respect that. It's from the gay community, but everybody is welcome to learn it. But it came from them. It came from all of those people that died of AIDS that are no longer here, that can no longer speak for themselves and tell you what their experiences is. It's very important that you realize that. And I'm sure that if any one of them were alive today, they would be extremely excited and happy to see that people would embrace what they did naturally, that they're embracing that. And I'm not only talking about whacking, I'm talking about voguing as well. Next question.
okay,
Come on, Oz.
disco versus house. You know I loves the house and the disco if it's right.
Your questions, boy, your questions. Young man. Okay, what do you want to know about disco versus house? Because you're talking to somebody that like them both. So
Yes, I like both. Love both. And
out of
actually, lately I've been into
out of
this.
all the dance, out of all the dance, I mean, out of all the music genres, those two are my favorite. Disco would be first, but disco would be first because that's what I grew up on. But house is.
Have you gotten to this Afrobeat yet?
Afrobeat?
Mm-hmm.
No.
In the funky house, I'm gonna hook you up with some of those artists. They got some rhythms in there.
That's what I'm talking about. Give me
Nice
see.
sounds, African drum beat sounds, a lot of from
What,
different parts.
what did you want to know about the disco and house?
Oh, competition wise,
What
whacking to them.
competition? Oh,
There's three categories. I'm gonna start with one of them first. Whacking to whack. Let's just put it. I don't think they'll mind. Let's just put it to music in competitions. Let's have this conversation real quick. Music in competitions. Now, as going for battling or actually now judging, they play some of the worst music at a lot of events for whacking. Like some things you wouldn't specifically play at a competition, like a long intro from like MacArthur's Park or something at the beginning.
well, that's only that's only because the majority of the people that used to whack, the majority of those people are no longer here. They're dead. So you have maybe a couple of people that are alive, like Victor, myself, Anna, Tony, Shabadoo. You know, Angel. You have people like that are still here that still remember the way Michelangelo played and what he played and how he played it. You know, this is why when I first started doing this, I went on a tantrum because somebody had asked me, "Well, what's the music that you play?" And I tried to, and I went out and spent my own money to do this, and got all of this music together. But what I'm finding is that when DJs get the music that I have, they feel that they can do better. They feel that they can give. They feel that they can look at something that's somewhat the same, and it's not crossing over because it's not it's like saying that, you know, well, I'm glad you gave me Larry Levan's music, but I'm going to play music that I think this is like Larry Levan's, which won't be.
Well, it's because nowadays everybody like the new kids like to hear some new beats,
Then what
and
the
they
new
want to.
kid
And the DJs when they play,
then,
they want to be able to put their own spin on everything. So
what they need to do, they need to find they need to create some new dances because whacking is, and I'm being honest, because whacking is the only one that gets that gets this that gets this negative thing to it. You play if you're a house dancer, they play house. If you play popping, they play popping. If you play hip hop, they play hip hop. They play all of these genres of music, but when it comes to whacking, they put on whatever they want. They never played in Geno's. They never played Cool in the Gang. They never played none of this stuff. Never. They might have played it after maybe after the 80s because what happened at Geno's was that Geno's was gay initially. Then what happened was straight people decided to start coming in there because the reason why they came in there was because the music was so palpitating. It was so interesting to listen to, and it changed that way. And the difference was when they went in there because when you went into a straight club in the 70s, they would generally play music that was the what's off of the radio, and you would generally have the DJ get up there and hype the club up. When you went to a gay club, it was completely different. It was all about how the music was played. It was all about how strong that bass could come out of that speaker. It was about all of those tweaks. I clearly remember going to these clubs early because I didn't have any money, and the only way you could get in there is they would let you in between say 9 and 11 for free. So everybody would just jumble up in there before then, and they would start practicing. But I clearly remember the DJ coming from the DJ booth and tweaking the sound system. It was long. It was loud, hard, and strong.
are you talking about the same day you were talking about Papa was a Rolling Stone.
It was hard. Yeah,
When
you
they
can.
okay, now let me tell you something funny about that because actually when I was when I was talking to Billy, he started telling me about um, the club, and then he started talking about this one day, and he started talking about the same situation going on with Papa was a Rolling Stone, and then people posing all over the place. He started telling
Yes.
about the same thing.
Yeah, they were
Crazy.
doing it. But it was when people you'd had to hear them. You had to hear what was coming out of the speaker. I mean, when you heard Papa, what it was, the clarity of that song was incredible. You could hear the boom boom. It made you automatically do that.
Okay, so
It,
what do you say to the because you know you have different kind of generations, you got different kind of schoolings, you have you know everywhere has a different way of doing things. So
oh,
what about the ones who just don't really care about where stuff comes from,
oh,
and it's
this is
just
this,
you know show me some moves.
oh, I got you there. I tell everybody this. I'm an old man. You know I'm old, and I tell everybody, I'm old. Help me. Am I moving? Am I still here? You know my shtick. I go through all of this as an elder, and I look at myself as an elder. The only thing I can do is guide and direct you and give you the history. After I do that, it's up to you. It's up to you to do what you have to do. I have to step back and allow you to do what you need to do. I have already experienced the dance. I'm sharing with you my experiences. If you choose to use them, you can use them. If you choose to discard them, it might upset me, but it's still none of my business. I mean, I'm only here to give you the information that I have. What you do with it, it's completely up to you. But I can tell you what's important, and what's important is that you know if you don't have a foundation for anything, it's going to crumble no matter what it is. That's the best thing I can do. So if people want to take this and go, well, that's nice, I like that, but I want to use that, they're more than welcome to do it. I'm not going to be mad at you. I can't be, because this is a whole nother generation. They see
Don't take
things that
my
are,
class. That's what I tell them. I don't have no
huh?
time for it.
Well, I mean, they got to do what they do. It's accepted. They can do what they want to do. What I don't like and what I will put my foot down is when they start. If you're in a competition and they're asking you to vote, then you need to vote. There should be no whacking.
Uh,
When they're asking you to whack and you're in a competition and the category is whacking, there should be no voting in that.
but I think now it's a
Now,
little. It's since
now
Vogue is more out there,
if
it's a little better than what it was because it used to
you
be.
if you now if you're going to do a stage presentation, if you're going to do something like that, then you can throw them all together.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want. But the reason why I said specifically is because these dances are specifically. What would it look like if you're playing house and you're dancing, and they said this is this is a house competition, but then you're in there dancing hip hop. You see what I'm saying? House means house. It means those are the specific things, and people have to know that. So if you